generally. Just finish up on the matchup. How do you assess Yao?
More like a position 5 though.
Do you feel? I mean, normally would be a 5. Here he seems to be more of a 4.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think he's naturally a 5, and right now he's playing a 4, which means that his 4 is also very close to a 5.
Right.
So they have.
He's not playing it as aggressively.
Yes,
for example.
yes, and not as greedy. So they are essentially running 2 position 5 supports. In some ways, can be good for your cause. It means that you have more space to farm, but it also means that you're gonna get less from your support.
Yeah, I think it's also those critical moments in games when you know that you're supposed to be doing something as a 4, but you've got the brain of a 5. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then both of you do the same thing, and you're like, oh crap, I'm supposed to do the other thing. So, and that's in the heat of the moment, isn't it? And that's partly what we're potentially going to see.
We were kind of up on, right? We see the Nyx AA ban. Immortal actually takes out the 2 heroes we were talking about that are very good versus them.
Oh my god.
And LGD leaves the IO, and Immortals grabs the Veno instead. I think that they're taking the Veno because they don't assume LGD plays IO, so they can take both.
The green man is...
Oh, Venomancer.
You've been complaining about green, not enough greens. I think that might have had something to do with vegetables, but you've got green now.
This is a very annoying pick. It makes it... Okay,
oh,
so
the
that's
lich,
the lich.
and they're gonna... do they just take the AM here? Do they just take it? Okay, they take the Necro.
Yeah, but it's very similar to the plan that we actually talked about.
Yeah.
You try to play on the lanes and you slow the game down because Lich is really good at doing that with the armor.
Yep.
And
I mean, this is super meta now, isn't it?
Now, yeah, this is full meta.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see the Immortals is. I mean, would be very surprised if they don't ban anti-mage in the 3rd, 4th.
All the Necro counters are out. Nyx, AA, and Pugna.
It's actually the dream Necro game right now.
Yeah, that is
the other one?
That is actually, this opening is actually better than the Lich AM because Necro is so strong right now.
Yeah,
because of the 3 bans. Oh
natural Hood, Pipe Builder versus Venomancer.
That pick is actually so good.
This is a dream opener.
So how can you actually deal with the Necro here?
I'm trying to think. They just take the... Okay, they actually take the Wyvern.
They still go for the Wyvern. It's a flexi pick for them because they do run it on the offlane on occasion.
It's a lot of damage between these 2 heroes as well. Lots of DOT damage, Arctic Burn and Veno.
But it's not that great against Necro, right? No. I don't feel he's a lot against Necro.
I guess you can curse him during his Ghost Shroud, so he can't use any healing during it. I'm just kidding. That would be feels bad.
So they pretty much they're gonna need like diffuser heroes, something to remove build diffusers to remove Shroud later on.
Just like we mentioned, LGD banning the Bloodseeker, so they're trying to set up for that AM pick anyway, even though it has to be banned by Immortals.
AM Lich Necro, that's gonna be like farm fest, you know.
They take out the Kunkka.
That's Victoria's best hero.
But he's not here.
Yeah,
no. But you'd imagine 357 would play it?
I think no, 357 is going to handle the Lich.
Yep.
Yao takes the...
He's going to play the position 4 hero. Whether I think it's going to be like a... I've seen his Earth Spirit, but his Earth Spirit is not that good. So I think he's going to play like some Kunkka, Spirit Breaker, or...
He's played Lich, right? Hasn't he? Yeah. He's played Lich.
Yeah, but in this setup, I think he's not going to be playing the Lich in current setup with 357. I think 357 is going to handle the Lich.
Yeah.
He's going to be leading the team more. So Yao is going to try and be that position 4, focus on his play and play good. Oh, this is tough though for those right now. This Necro Force is a...
They're targeting all of Immortals' most popular heroes. Taking out Femi, Spirit Breaker now. Bloodseeker, heroes that are good at catching. I mean, the AM is still just shining, but like you said, it's pretty farm heavy. But I think it's just such a good matchup versus Venomancer.
Yeah, and the thing with Lich is, like I mentioned, Lich is really... Furion, Chan, and Enchantress, those that bring a lot of early pressure right now. They do still have the option to run. And Furion is pretty good in the lane. Let's say they were to draft an AM, Lich AM mid. You can have Furion against the Necro. And maybe a strong roamer, a bounty hunter, like some kind of roam that can actually allow the Furion to kill his lane, or even a Tusk. I think Tusker could be good for Fabi this game. Tusker is really good against Necro because you get a save with the snowball. He works okay with their heroes. It's not like great, but it's okay.
He was playing it a lot, and well.
Yeah, I think he's very likely to handle the Tusk this game because SB, all his main heroes are banned, so I think Tusk is a reasonable substitute to that. Sand King. So this actually could still be their offlane
Could be
hero.
either.
I've seen FY play this hero.
They're making up for a team fight, or they're having a team fight.
Yeah, but it's
A lot
not
of
that
spell damage.
it's not that great in the lane if you go against a Veno and the Veno has a sentry in the lane, then the Sand King will have a lot of problems in the lane. They just need to make sure the Veno has a sentry in the lane. Then it'll be fine.
I think they just wanted what, like a hard stun and some more. I mean, more damage to go through.
Yeah,
Cold
and a
Embrace.
flexi pick, because
Yeah.
they could run it on position 4 or off lane. So they get to see what Immortals is up to. One more pick.
They still go for the IO. I wasn't thinking that they would do it because it's versus a Necro and a Lich, and Chain Frost is still pretty tough for IO.
So it's still possible for offlane Wyvern, but I would actually still prefer Furen because it's against the Lich. So we'll see what they decide to do, because then they have the Furen plus relocate. So a lot of global presence with their lineup.
They don't have good catch though. They've only got like the Gale and Arctic Burn.
Furen can itemize to that, I think, to a certain degree. Get a early Orchids,
We haven't
Orchid
seen
Shadow Blade.
I don't like
a huge
having.
amount of players play this Wyvern. Mainly at Star Ladder.
It's been Ice 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 and Moo.
Moo.
Yeah.
Ice and Moo, and FY did it earlier today, one
Yes.
game, the first series.
Do you like not having any like hard stuns though for Necro? I feel like having no hard stuns for Necro makes the game really hard because he's always able to get off Ghost Shroud, get off his stick.
Yeah, then you have to itemize like silence and yeah,
And it's really
not
hard.
great. Yeah, it's not great. I get what you mean. So I think because of that, it actually probably mean that this Wyvern is going to be off lane. They're going to pair IO with Tusk. At least they have some lockdown against the Necro. It's not great, but at least they have something.
Do you think they could do? You don't think they could go for something like a Bat Rider? Bat's usually pretty good versus Necro throughout most of the
Yeah,
stages.
then their support duo is like Wyvern, IO, right?
And that's kind of awkward.
Can that work? I've never seen that before. It doesn't feel great to me. But then they will have this like double heal tether, then this co-embrace thingy. I'm not a big fan, but I think this support duo is quite weak too. So I'm anticipating the Wyvern to be.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that they want to like punish lanes, right? Because that's Immortals like Dream. And now I mean Bat looks even better.
Cool.
Oh my god, they have so much team fight right now. Sand King, Monkey, and IO is.
So this is a QO monkey.
That's LGD.
No, LGD.
Oh yes.
So pretty
That'll be
much,
on. I
got excited for
yeah,
a moment.
pretty much Immortals are going to have problems with taking a team fight. Right now, you don't want to relocate into the Chain Frost, Epi, Wukong's command. Like you pretty much cannot fight into that unless you have like some bigger AoE ultimates, which is I'm not sure what they're gonna go for here. I mean, Wyvern and Veno is good amount of damage if you get your spells landing on many heroes.
Yeah, Bat. It had to be Bat in that situation. It's punishing the lanes. It's really good versus Necro, and it's really good versus Monkey
So
King.
that means that the IO and Wyvern are both
They're
their supports.
Yeah.
But
This is like it's one of 4 of his like favorite heroes
Yeah.
to play versus Necro as well.
Yeah, I guess when you pick the Monkey, even adds to another reason to pick the Bat Rider.
Yeah, to scout him out and
This pick is actually gonna ruin LGD's plans a bit with their laning phase because they don't really have a like Necro and Monkey both can't lane against Bat, so they're gonna have to figure out some way to. It's actually gonna be difficult because they can't really switch their lanes around too much right now. Unless they.
LGD is very quick on the bans though. You see that they insta banned Ember Spirit.
Mhm.
So the IO Ember, we've
Stuns.
seen Immortals run it.
They need stuns. And they removed the Weaver, which is really good against the Bat Rider and the IO.
Man. So Veno off lane or Veno mid.
Veno mid, Bat Rider off lane.
Yeah.
Or it could be Veno safe lane, Bat Rider off lane, Sven IO mid.
We've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen that before from Liquid.
10 seconds remaining.
So their options are pretty open. They can just lane whatever they want.
5 seconds remaining.
I actually like it. I'm starting to like the bottoms lineup more,
I do
Immortals
too.
lineup
I
more.
really like the IO Bat Rider combo if they can whenever they pair it up for kills, and I've seen the damage that Febby and 4F can do to safe lanes.
Okay, this Monkey feels out of place right now.
Storm Spirit.
Where do you think they run that now? Because Ami's the one that's been
What?
playing a lot of Monkey
So
right
Ami's
recently,
playing-
but FY has
it's
played it in the
offlane.
offlane as well.
It's the offlane
Yeah.
like Monkey King.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
the
it is.
FY Monkey King.
Is it mid Sven? Sven.
I
too.
think you just do mid Sven against the Storm. You
Yeah, I
do
think so
IO
too.
and Sven mid, you're
Mm.
gonna do a lot of damage in the lane against the Storm. And you're gonna force the Lich or the Sand King to help. I don't think it's gonna hamper your IO Sven's lane a lot.
They don't
but-
have great catch for the Storm if he gets online though.
Yeah, but I don't think Storm can
yeah.
actually have a good game.
Okay,
I agree.
let's get some predictions from both of you as well. Head into this game, Winter.
South Korean Dota, baby.
All in on Immortals.
Yes.
Okay.
I really like the Batrider pick.
10
I think
seconds remaining.
I'm not crazy about this Monkey King. I've seen it lose time and time again, and I think Bat's
5 seconds
the saving
remaining.
grace that Immortals had versus this Necrophos.
Okay. Change here, I guess you should say on the panel. It is, of course, both members going for Immortals. Who else, of course, against the team with a standing? Can they produce a surprise or a shock? Let's find out. The winner, of course, of this series already goes to the semi-finals here at the PGL Open Bucharest. In game number 1, we've got full meta jacket. So is your commentary team of Blitz and Capitalist.
Weathered through with their late game against the aggression of Infamous, while Immortals pushed Secret out pretty quickly in a 2-0 with their aggression. It seems like we're going to have a bit of a clash of playstyles here. Blitz, Immortals being the more forefront team, LGD, it seems China in general is playing a lot slower.
Yeah, and China has been such an enigma because they did struggle quite heavily against Infamous, who I don't think it'd be a stretch to say that they would probably
Prepare
be the
for
weakest.
battle.
And they struggled quite hard, and I think it's a playstyle thing, and it might just be that China hasn't quite adapted to playstyles that are generally a bit faster. I noticed that they were still favoring heroes like Void, for example.
I mean, here we have probably one of the bigger late game heroes in the Storm Spirit. Is this a free Storm game, William?
It's I will say for some reason it's really annoying to play Storm against Veno, because when you do your initial jump, he's pretty tanky. Like, you don't really like jumping on really tanky heroes because you can't immediately burst.
Okay.
That part's kind of annoying. Pretty annoying against Bat. He should be able to dodge most things. Once you get to Lincoln's, it's...
Yeah, because you only have 3 stuns. All of them are pretty obvious, single
Yeah.
target.
Those are pretty... I don't know. I would like to play Storm in a game like this. I have no issues.
So it's definitely not the Storm that could lead LGD astray here, but what about the rest of the lineup? Like the panel, not too big of a fan of the old off-lane Monkey King for FY.
Yeah, but I think this time you have a better hero pairing up with it. In the past, like, they've always had this like weird combo, like,
Yeah.
and it just gets absolutely destroyed. But I think what should happen right now is, it looks like they're gonna swap NP. But I think he should just stay top, and they have Batrider against the Necro. That's such a good matchup for Batrider. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's moving back up. He should just tank this lane.
So we'll have our Wisp dual lane, like they were talking about. Wisp Sven against the Storm Spirit. Now that's got to be one of the areas where Storm is going to feel a little bit pressured, right? Is the laning phase, and then that potentially early Blink Dagger of the Batrider. He's just got to kind of survive through all of this, right?
Yeah, and when it comes to lane matchups, it's pretty advantageous to Immortals. And we saw at Star Ladder, lanes do matter quite a bit nowadays, but lane Dubu, just hanging around.
Now, LGD, the only Chinese team who's managed to pull up wins so far in this new season.
2 wins so far.
Do you think that they are doing something different? Because they're still playing kind of slow, but are they doing something different compared to the Chinese teams that we've seen so far to make it work?
I think for the most part, they're pretty similar. It's just that individual skill-wise, LGD are very good, and they actually do know that Dubu's around. This is such an NA classic. Like, the wait for the mid-courier.
Nothing tilts a mid faster than sniping his courier.
If you played mid-pubs, like, you know this.
And so the courier is going to run itself all the way up to the top lane. They are going to go on to maybe, though, with the extra help of the Winter Wyvern. It's going to be very easy kills. So even if they didn't know Dubu was there, apparently they didn't know Dubu was there.
Yeah, they had some inkling, but they didn't think he'd actually wait. So there are 2 ways to deal with Lich as a hero. It's either you commit fully and you tri-lane against it, or you sort of just sack it and say to yourselves, like, this sucks, that's life.
And that's what MP is saying to himself right now. He's facing against a Monkey King, so at least he's got a lot of slows to be able to make sure Monkey King doesn't push him out, but he is going to have his lane constantly pushed into the maybe off-lane tower, and FY's going to be able to do a lot of farm. And that's why you like the Monkey King more, right?
Yeah,
he's got Lich.
In this game, he does have a Lich. He's got something like... In Dota, you just can't reasonably expect to win all 3 lanes. That's just a greedy principle. That doesn't really work out almost ever nowadays. You pretty much just have to give up on the fact that you're going to win. But it win 2 as up and bottom. Batrider going to get stunned.
Rev is going to go for this one. He already has the sticky napalm stacks onto Yao, so he's going to start chasing him out, but couldn't quite get ahead of him to be able to get that extra damage. So It's gonna back off. That is the, so we're just basically doing 1-3-1. I was expecting like Wyvern to go down to the bottom lane and help out our Batrider or something, but they seem to be pretty well set on just destroying mid as much as possible.
Yeah, and they've kind of identified that that's probably the lane that can help out in the most. I would like to see the Wyvern rotate down to bottom though, because I think Bat versus Necro is a really abusive matchup. Like, it's one of the few matchups that Necro actually doesn't just straight up win.
Sticky Napalm being that constant deterrent for him being able to get good CS. If he sticks around too long, then he's gonna get run over. Can't Ghost Shroud to protect yourself.
Ghost Shroud just kills you faster.
But so is it the reason that they're tri-laning mid so much is not just being able to, okay, it's one of the best lanes we can pressure, but also the fact that Storm is going to be the biggest threat going on later into the game. It was the best counter pick to what Immortals are running.
It was probably more just a response of the failed courier snipe into getting first blood and not really sure where to go after that. It looked like the game plan kind of stalled out a little. I think the IO should just like stack camps though for the Sven. They should clear it and then they'll give the Wyvern the XP mid. Because Wyvern's one of the best supports at just giving XP to. Really hard to dive him. He has such a long attack range. He can just spam out with Splinter Blast, so if he gets dove, you have to really commit for that kill. Right. And as a Storm player, you never want to like ultra hard commit to anything. Especially in the early game. The worst feeling as a Storm is when you've all in committed for support in the early game. You don't have enough mana to get back and you just get... But Febby gonna help out bottom. Give 4ev absolute full. There's such a benefit. IO.
Our two supports are going to come in now. Going to be spotted out by Yao here. Not a whole lot should come of this. Probably just a lot of damage on Yao. Dubu not even bothering throwing out the Arctic Burn.
They're trying to protect this bounty room, right?
Yeah, all the more important for Whip. Bottle.
Yeah, but in mid, Kyo's getting... Really
yeah, maybe he's not shy about the moment he knows those two supports. He's like, all right, finally it's my time. And he starts putting a lot of pressure on a QO, who is going to snatch up the Invis rune and his support, healing him up pretty soon.
Had to grab it. Febby's runes are so good for me. Don't do that. But does get nabbed. They were trying to deny it from maybe. And Yao's actually smoked up the ward by the shrine. Not going to spot him. As the Necro continues to just farm, probably has a deep. And if you look at this, he started his item builds with the town portal versus the Batrider. Like, that's so intelligent because he knows that the back can just like triple sticky, go on him, and if he just TPs out, neither of the supports have a stun.
Yeah, with Flame Break no longer stopping stuns, just a shove.
And how many times do they have to nerf Batrider?
Well, apparently it's not enough. We'll see what happens in 7.07. Any day, guys.
I hear when you guys complain about it, Ice Frog out of spite just adds like 2 more.
It all comes back to that, yeah, all the way back in Dodo.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I just keep adding days. Really get people riled up, you know?
See, now if the Chinese scene was doing something like that and advocating for him, put out the patch, he'd comply. Like, alright, guys.
These guys are chill.
No problem.
We lose it. I love that. Be passionate, guys. Kyo throws out a stun mid. Now it's the Lich dual lane. Man, Lich is such an insane hero.
Okay. Everything's done for this lane. And
Yeah,
the Storm
like...
Spirit's going to pick up level 6 soon. That's kind of dangerous for Kyo. So he's going to start eyeing some of the stacks. Both of the Ancients have been stacked up for him since we had both supports in that mid area. They might as well be stacking up. Right now, Dubu's heading his way to bottom lane. Ame is about to get his level 6 as well as the lasso on Fred with his level 6. So there's a lot of kill opportunities back and forth in this bottom lane as soon as we get to our ultimates.
For the most part right now, it's... Well, there's not a lot of kill potential anywhere. But this kind of like farming based style might even favor like if the next 3 net worths are for LGD. But it's all these stacks that Febby should be doing. He is. He's got some stacks.
So he's going to be able to optimize jungling, so is the Sven, so is the Batrider. So that's how the slower game just kind of paved the way for Immortals. But that does mean they still have to be the aggressors, right? So they can go ahead and spend their time farming. It's going to be good for them. But when they do hit their timing, they have to hit it really hard and pretty much knock LGD out as quick as possible because They do have the better late game here. Ooh, bottom lane, they're going to jump onto Forev with the Burrow Strike. Maybe he's going to try and follow this up. Oh, Vebi has actually here, and he's going to be able to heal up the Bat Rider. They're going to be able to turn around, kill up Yao. Good timing for Vebi to be in the area. Saves Forev's life, and will help him get that level 6.
Yeah, and he's going to even TP out because he knows that Q is coming over and he's out of mana. But that is pretty much what it looks like when Storm can't instantly burst. And that's why Heroes is like Wisp. Yeah, he doesn't have a disable, but what he does as Storm is he really messes with your Dota math. And you have to jump further than you expect.
Yeah.
Which, as a Storm, the initial damage that comes from you is just your, your first zip. Like your first long zip. If you can't kill people there, then things get pretty complicated. And that's regardless of how he scales. That's just kind of how the hero works.
It says a lot about QO's playstyle that he was willing to make that move into the jungle just to see.
Yeah, they're going to try to kill mid though. They probably will too.
It's already pretty low. With the magic damage, they can bring him down pretty easy. Ami's going to throw out that Reaper Scythe. It's not going to be enough to kill him right away, so they won't be able to get the extra death timer in there on the Sven, but they will at least bring him down.
Yeah, that's so nice for him that he wasn't hit by that. And without a bottle, maybe he's going to find this Arcane Rune, but if I were him, I would just pop this top laner Shrine. Like, sorry, FY. Life.
Look, buddy, you've had a great lane. Don't really need this.
He's going to do exactly that. Because you want to farm with this Arcane Rune. That's what you really want to do. You don't want to kill anybody. You're just going to farm with it. You get, like, this 2.4 second cooldown Remnant. You're going to farm really quickly.
Not going to be wanting for mana too much.
Yeah, and Q.
Trying to go for a bit of dive here. Just kind of poking at him. Always dangerous, though, to go on a Necrophos. Even if you do have that magic damage. They've got Chain Frost up on the Lich. And if Necrophos snags the last hit, you're going to be paying for it.
Yeah. Lich just one of those 5 heroes that still kind of prevalent. Because his team fight's insane. He'll slow from pretty much everything that you have. He's one of the 5 positions that continues to scale into levels. Like, it's really hard as a 5 player to find independent
wrap
farm.
around. They're going to go on to MP. MP is not going to be hit by the jump here from FY. Missed the tree dance jump. MP is going to be able to get into the trees himself. Blocks out with a ward a little bit. Hides.
3 seconds for his TP.
Waiting. Another ward. He doesn't have the mana, though. So he's got to just throw out the TP as soon as Burrow strikes up, but they do have the extra stun come down from FY, which he'll use to finish up. And it wasn't really a good way for him to get out of there. Spot as much time as possible. 2-2 right now. Very slow game for Immortals versus LGD, but it should be ramping up here.
That was a pretty decent juke attempt. He almost made it happen. But it's hard as QO. He wants that stack. This is kind of what we expected for Immortals. Like, the early game went probably a little bit better than expected with that first blood and the secondary pickup kill. But for the most part, they can't really do much for like farm and chill in their lanes in time. It's not like Veno's a hero that's going to rotate that early. Probably not until he takes the safe lane tower.
Well, that's unfortunate. They are trying to clear through an Ancient stack right now, and Stormseer just picked up a regen. So I don't think you want to be trying this stack anymore. A little bit too dangerous. FY is already making his rotations. He's level 8 already. Going to be spotted by the Bat Rider. Not going to be able to knock him down, though.
There's like some interesting interaction between... Just because Bat, he's like the natural enemy of trees. And, of course, Monkey King. Trees are his
Gotta live there all
good
day.
friends.
Bebby did manage to get one of the spirits onto FY in the trees. Oh, he tried to jump to the tree to be able to get him some vision. Might have been able to kill Febby if he dropped down on it, but Febby just gave him the loop-de-loop. And now, that much time wasted. There's no way FY is going to be able to do much about this one. Oh, actually might be able to catch him. No, he jumped away. Actually did get stunned. No, he got knocked down before he was able to complete the jump, so he's going to be stunned up long enough for Immortals to be able to clean up that extra kill. That was LG. I don't know what LGD was doing there. That felt like way greedy when they first got hit by the Spirit Ball. Yeah. And he still kept on jumping in and still failing to find that easy kill on the Wisp. It was just so much time wasted there underneath the tier 1 tower.
I think the idea was like blow up Wisp quickly and create some space for this bottom area. But nobody was really able to utilize it. The smart thing, though, about LGD, you notice that as soon as that play happens, the Necro just immediately messes away, goes to the jungle instead as up at top.
Going for MP. All those rotations over to mid lane left maybe a pretty easy opportunity to clean up that Venomancer. Meanwhile, Forev is going to push it to the limit. He sees Heroes tops. He's going to go ahead and cut the creep wave and see if he can help this siege wagon take out the tier 1 tower as quick as possible.
Yeah, probably should get it. And as most of LGD rotated up at top, this mid lane gonna get shoved in. Necrolite has his Force Staff, which is a really nice item against everything that Immortals does have. But Frev is gonna grab this bottom tower for free. And generally as Radiant, you want to be able to split the map and play the same side, or the opposite side. You want to just play the reverse of what Dire do. And so generally what happens is you lose your bottom tower, but in return you're going to grab that top tower, tier 1, but they weren't able to do so. And in fact, they're going to rotate all the way down here for it. He's already TP'd out.
Maybe he's already got the haste rune, so they're going to be able to kill MP real quickly. Febby actually relocated.
Oh, no,
God,
Febby.
Febby, why?
Go.
Why did you just suicide into that one, friend?
He had like 100 health and 1 bottle charge?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about. FY gonna try and put a stop to the push of QO in this mid lane, so he can also pick up that Jingu mastery stack.
Gonna stun him out before he throws down the hammer, but wouldn't have mattered anyways. And kind of a weird sequence of events. And you only see those sequences of events in Immortals games. Like, only Immortals is willing to take a 2v4 with no vision and like 1 bottle charge on their Wisp. We saw it last game against Secret.
Yeah, I asked you,
like,
I was like, what the hell are they doing?
I was like, I don't know, man. You gotta take the good with the bad. If you're gonna run at people, just like, you can't play perfect Dota. You know what I mean? You can't just say like, why would you run into them like that? Well, it's like, they're gonna do that all game, so...
Yeah, it looks brilliant when they're diving tier 2s as 5 and it's working for them and they're getting kills. Sometimes it's gonna look bad.
You don't get to pick and choose this stuff, man. You are who you are. Your team identity doesn't really change. Downside for LGD, even though they've had a pretty good early game, is that their 4 and their 5 are both surprisingly underfarmed. Like, Yao has absolutely no farm. I think Winter pointed that out earlier, that Yao kind of plays this like 4 position a little bit more as a 5.
Yeah, we actually wanted to go into that conversation a little bit more because maybe that's a bit of the difference between the Chinese and the Western style right now. Like LGD running almost 2 5s, and a lot of the Western scene running almost 2 4s. Like we saw Secret very greedy with their Earth Spirit Chen. We talked about it a lot at Star Ladder. Just like 5 positions were pretty barren, not really being picked up too often.
I think for this game anyways, it's because you got Lich, and there are 5 positions that still work, Lich just being one of them. Like Lich plus Bane, I don't want to go through the entire list, but there's like 3 or 4 or 5 positions here that still really work. Sure. So I think LGD is forced into this a little bit more. And when you have a Lich, you're going to pick 3 really greedy lanes. Because if you choose a really greedy offlaner like this Monkey King, then you have the option, like he's got options. I think the plan maybe was to put this Necro mid and have this MK safe lane, but as soon as back got picked, that kind of throws things for a loop. And then you have an offlaner that isn't really like an Earthshaker in the same sense. Like he's a bit greedier. And this is what I was talking about by the mirror, by the way. So as soon as Immortals goes to this bottom tower, LGD, instead of trying to fight that, look what they do. They trade for their own tier 2. And I would have liked to see them do this for the first tier 1. Not that it matters too much, but if we're nitpicking.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they still got it. But.
Yeah.
And it felt like that a rotation from LGD earlier, where they 4-man down into their jungle. That felt a little abnormal to me. Kind of caught Immortals off guard for sure.
Oh, when they killed the Venom? Yeah,
yeah.
Didn't
After
see that
they
coming.
took that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that was a cool move. That I don't know if a lot of people appreciate, but they just assumed that he'd be there. Arcane Rune?
Maybe is going to be pulled back onto the cliff. Dominating streak already for Maybe, but they're still going to try and fight this one out as they're going to be able to snatch up the Lich pretty quickly. Now the grab onto FY's Monkey King. Managed to get the stun out though. Maybe that'll help Yao escape. Instead, he actually managed to get clipped by the stun. Looks like Febby got Reaper's Sight there. So they are going to get the Necrophos, that extra regen. Maybe has plenty of mana to be able to run himself away from this one or fight should he choose. And he's going to go for fighting here, but he's ultimating against both the Bat Rider and the wards. And he ends up losing his life, popping the Soul Ring for the extra mana, but gets clipped by a ward. NP is the one who is awarded that dominating streak, and LGD take a real nasty fight there.
Ooh, that was rough. And Febby, once again, not a lot of HP. He's like, damn it, guys. Just kind of wait for me to be full, but unfortunately does go down. He played that positioning pretty well. He took the Necro out of the fight. The Necro had to deal with him, like trying to find him this entire time.
I mean, this all started with what I thought was a really easy pickoff, but Immortals are willing to take this fight right next to a shrine.
The problem was when you lose your Lich like that, he can't get any spells off, and he gets jumped himself. that represents a lot of the team fight for LGDs. Since this Sand King doesn't have Blink Dagger quite yet, like you could tell Yao really didn't want to take this fight. He's 100 gold away from his Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
They thought they just had an easy pick, and it kind of snowballs into a fight that you don't necessarily want to take, but you have to. And Febby's laughing about it. He's like, okay, like I guess they're gonna trade for me.
I thought for sure maybe he was gonna jump away from Perev there.
He's probably pretty dead though. I think he made the correct decision in hindsight.
Oh really?
Yeah, because everybody's got blinks, and they're pretty fast. Like
Definitely
this
got
Sven would
Blink
kill
now
him.
for the Perev.
Yeah, and Q had blink this entire time. Like, he's probably not getting out of that. I think he made the correct decision there. You gotta battle your way out sometimes.
Radiant's top tower
Finally,
is under
Yao
attack.
does have his Blink Dagger, though well in time with the Blink Daggers. Immortals. Still going to be an initiation advantage, it seems.
They need their 2 supports to get their spells off. Like the knock on Sand King has always been he sort of lacks in damage, which I think a lot of people when they hear that they'll say,
Radiant's top
oh that
tower is
can't
under
seem right.
attack.
Like, Sand King's got this epicenter, but once everyone starts getting BKBs, your stun becomes increasingly more useless. Your ulti is really hard to get off.
So you're saying there's very much a sweet spot for
Yeah,
doing
exactly.
damage on Sand King.
That's always kind of been the case with Sand King.
After you get Blink, but before they have BKBs.
You should
Febby,
just throw the chain.
his relocate's going to be caught, and they're not going to be able to get that kill right away. Yao's going to have to dive in even deeper for it, and maybe
Got Blink.
no
He's trying to get
TPs
the
whatsoever from Immortals.
Oh,
my
no.
goodness! He misses the burrow strike. Febby's taunting him now. He's coming back. Meanwhile, they're going for FY still at the top lane. They managed to pick up the Storm Steward already.
They might just go high ground.
Yeah, they're going for it. I mean,
They have
Febby has
God
already
Strike.
lured them so far away from the base. Febby is
Febby.
still drying him out. Fortunately, the Chain Frost didn't
Dude,
bounce
what is
back to him,
going
but
on
the Tier
right
3
now?
tower is being chipped away at that bottom lane. They need to go back. They need at least Lich Armor on that Tier 3 something. That was...
They really should have just chain frost
Wow.
and try to kill him instantly.
Yeah, don't...
Use something, like commit one of your ultis, because that was the worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, like the upside of Sand King is he does have his own setup stun. Like he's not a Slardar where it's very limited. You've got to like run in.
Yeah.
It is a ranged stun, but you
Comes at a
do.
cost.
Yeah, it does come at a cost. And Storm's gonna get a really free pickup on Febby, 436 gold. That's a really significant amount of money.
He's getting all these pickoffs, but still does not quite yet have that Bloodstone.
Yeah.
You always hate to see Storm Spirits who are like, oh, look at him, he's getting all these kills, and then he gets a Bloodstone, and then the game turns against him.
17-minute Bloodstone with Treads, I think, is a really good timing. Like
Yeah.
19 minutes is not awful by any means. And Immortals, they want to use their Blink Dagger timings as much as possible. This is a really sick timing for them. I think they should sandwich on mid. And if you get a kill here near this bottom area, you can even probably just Rax LGD straight up. And that's what they're trying to go for. They're trying to catch them on the way down. And they're actually going to find them here.
See if they can kill FY real quickly and jump QO at the same time. Being a little bit greedy and almost making it work. FY is going to be able to get a bit more distance, but there's a flame break and should take out before he gets to the shrine.
Now they want to go. This is exactly what they wanted to do.
Immortals
You transition
go for the
to kill.
high ground.
You find somebody on the way downwards. You immediately move to your Venom, who's already pre-set up the push. And this should have been really obvious for LGD. Like, something should have been warning in their head. Like, guys, nobody's really pushing out top. Like, there's no rebuttal kill for Febby. What's going on? Like, why haven't they made any sort of move out? And the reason for this is because they're setting up this bottom play, which they sandwich in this mid area. They come together, run towards MP. They find 2 pickoffs in response. LGD. This is a 20-minute Rax. And your lineup is supposed to hold this pretty okay with Lich Frost Armor.
Now, I don't know if Immortals noticed. I certainly did. Our Sand King used Epicenter.
Oh, that's what I mean. Epicenter is, it's really unreliable in this regard, especially if you're the only stun. Look at that lineup from LGD. He's pretty much the only stun aside from the Jingu staff. So if he doesn't jump in, it's going to have to be the Monkey King that jumps in. And so if you Epicenter, it's a gamble at that point, because nobody's going to be a fight starter for you. It's just the Storm that's going to zip in, and we've seen that he can't really commit the zip. He'll just get Bat Rider grabbed and killed immediately.
Immortals really love the discipline there of taking the tier 2 tower, not taking the fight that Ame was kind of presenting to them by being a little bit far forward.
They don't have to. You know what the best feeling as a team when you're ahead is? Is if you grab Rax and you take it clean. Nobody dies for it. That's when you know the game has really become a lot more rough. Because oftentimes what happens is you grab Rax, but it's always at a cost. That's the beautiful thing about Dota is you take Rax, but you'll have to lose like 2 cores for it. And that's the enemy's way to get a little bit more farm and back into the game.
Yeah, maybe they go and they take Roshan after that or something.
Exactly.
then all of a sudden you're like, oh, can't fight for another 5 minutes. You're looking at this game, and yeah, you might have a Rax, but they're getting bigger and bigger. Not the case here. Immortals, they're going to keep pushing the pedal to the metal here, see if they can go and find another smoke pickoff that may lead to taking mid lane of Rax or Roshan.
Yeah, Forev is trying to find FI right now.
Their
The trees. And that tree is moving around, dude. Like, trees don't move in Dota.
All right, well, they cleared through this area. They kind of ran around the Roshan pit area. Didn't find anybody, so instead they're just going to try and do Roshan straight up. Highly doubt LGD is going to be capable of fighting them, but I'm sure they're still going to try.
They need to. They absolutely cannot give up this Aegis. And
Look at
Forev,
oh,
he's invis. Do they have gem or anything like that? I don't even think they have sentries or dust. So if they do take this fight,
No,
he's got perfect vision for this.
They're going to be completely spotted out. Forev can pretty much pick and choose who he's going to go for here, and who's it going to be. Waiting for it, does go for the lasso onto FY. It feels like that initiation is going to be key, being able to take out that big team fighter right away. FY's down, Reaper's Scythe does manage to finish off the Winter Wyvern, but Yao's not going to make it out of here. 3 dead from LGD, maybe is on a bit of mana, so he'll be able to jump back to base.
He's completely in no man's land as QO.
No longer has those Deathful stacks, so he's just going to have to go for the TP. Does manage to make it out, though.
Very good. Gets out with his life, but that Invis rune, really, really fortuitous rune for them, as QO probably is going to tell his team, say, wait, I've almost got Daedalus, no reason to rush this game whatsoever. He's completely right. Like, get all the items that you need to get before you decide to go for any of these GG pushes. But this game is really one-sided.
We got level 20 coming up. MP has got level 18 coming up soon. That's a big upgrade in damage. And an Aghanim Scepter almost finished for Rev as his second item after the Blink Dagger. Does manage to push down FY, but doesn't have a lasso to be able to drag him out of his own ultimate, so he's going to be kind of stuck here, but finally gets out, and QO makes the initiation. Doesn't give a damn about the extra armor. QO does more than enough. He does have an Aegis here, so maybe he's going to have to get that kill and get out quick. Otherwise, he's going to be pursued out by the Blink Daggers, or Yao's going to make his initiation. They're going to try and fight this one. QO goes in with his God Strength, goes straight for the Lich, but Lich is already thrown as Chain Frost. Damage is done, but it looks like a fight that LGD cannot possibly win, even with the Chain Frost and Epicenter. They don't even come close to killing anybody on the side of Immortals. 3 down again from the side of LGD. The Storm Spirit Necrophos always staying alive through these engagements, but not really growing a whole lot.
Dude, the Wyvern had maybe 200 HP, and Febby came in with like the wand instant mech drop, healed him to full. I was like, no, there's absolutely no way that you're going to win that fight. And now they're just going to go for the high ground. They don't have Aegis or God Strength, so this might be LGD's best opportunity. No Chain Frost or Epicenter for them is the issue. So maybe you just back up, take the Shrines, I think is a much better play than trying to commit for anything without your God Strength.
Now, I've always been curious, like how disciplined do you be in this situation? How patient do you be as Immortals? You just took Roshan, but you lost the Aegis really quickly. It's going to be a long while until the next Roshan is up. Do you ever consider waiting that long for that Aegis cheese, knowing how hard pushing high ground is? Or with this big of an advantage, do you push it now and not give LGD the opportunity for pickups?
I think when you have 2 saving supports, it's fine.
Okay.
When you have this Wisp that can always relocate out of bad spots, you've got this Wyvern.
You've got great high ground pushing heroes here as well. QO tries to go for Ame, but a defensive force staff does allow him to be able to get out of there.
You don't have to commit too much because you can just drop wards and allow your stun to hit, and your Wisp can just hold in the back, which is Storm's job. Like, maybe he has to try to
jump forward, immediately bringing down QQQ. Finally, he does manage to finish him off. And the double lasso, there it is with the Aghanim. Oh! One big crit from QO. Kills 2 heroes. QO looking for the couple of hits on maybe is up next, but does manage to jump away a little bit farther back. Winter Wyvern pops the ultimate there onto the next row. Ame is kind of set up, but it looks like all these heroes are just jumping a bit too low. They dove in too deep. Ame's going to be able to pick up one with the Reaper's Scythe. The relocate out does manage to save MP, though. I thought for sure Immortals was going to be losing 2 cores. Oh, are they going to go back in? It looks like they're setting up for it. QO's going to go for the kill. Quick kill onto Ame. He's going to be gone on by Maybe and will manage to bring him down, but immediate buyback, and now with the relocate back in, Immortals may have just stumbled into a trap of their own making. Maybe going in deep, trying to finish off Baby. The squishy support, but can't make it out. Now they don't have stuns for MP either. Oh no! Dubu, the last one to TP out, and LGD don't even see the kill opportunity. 11-22, a dive. A deep dive from Immortals that may have just been an opportunity for LGD to come back, but didn't have the stuns necessary to punish.
Yeah, and the problem is, when you lose the Sand King, your fight just, it's over. Like, you don't have any sort of follow-up initiation, you can't really lock down any of these heroes, and the instant heal burst that the Wisp provides in a game like this means that your initial jump just gets negated. Like, you all-in jump with Storm, that's what we talked about, and then Wisp just heals everyone to full, so it doesn't really matter anyways. So you try to go on the backline, because you have to pop these two supports. But you notice that Febby makes the correct decision, he saves his tether, and he just waits, goes on the Wyvern instead, heals him up, correctly chooses the targets, and they're able to reset the fight. Now they force the buyback. Forev with this Aghanim Scepter. It looked kind of cool, but it didn't lead to too much.
Smoke wrap around here. They catch Necrophos. He's gone, has no Aghanim Scepter, or buyback rather. FY. He's going to be a choice instead. He's very, very dead.
Incredibly dead.
He does not have buyback for 45 seconds. Alright, Immortals. Time to go high ground again. See if this one actually manages to fully cripple.
Dude, Lich needs to go back right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what... They seem real slow
He needs to start Frost Armoring.
defending their base, because...
Oh no.
Alright, they do have that.
They've got Glyph, but still, like, you want the Frost Armor on these buildings.
Yeah. And that's already the tier 3 down. Rax is still being exposed. No, there's the initiation coming out with the epicenter, but it's not even close. Huge out. He just turns around, two-shots him. Maybe he goes for the wisp. He finally sees the opportunity, but he just can't kill him fast enough. It's too much HP on Febby. Maybe is incapable of killing any of these heroes by himself. Immortals will take that second lane of Rax and look to the third, but LGD, I don't see how they could possibly defend this time around. They've already run all their big team fight spells. Bounce back of the stun onto QO. Underneath the tier 3, okay, maybe this is the opportunity. Monkey King's gonna throw out his ultimate with the Reaper's Scythe. They will make sure there's no rebuttal from Immortals. Unfortunately, that relocate out just didn't work for Febby. And he's gonna be relocated back into an awkward spot. MP's gonna try and fight this one out though. Managed to get a lot of poison, force LGD back. I can't believe they're willing to fight this one without the Sven. And it looks like they might just be able to win it too. Tried to jump in, unfortunately Lincoln stops the lasso, and now FY's gonna be healing himself with a huge Boundless Strike. And finally, maybe he's found his opportunity. Gets that damn wisp, goes for the other support, and Dubu, while FY tries to handle MP, burns in the flames. But they will manage to pick up all 5 of Immortals on LGD.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to see happen in a Rax defense. Yes, you might lose a Rax, but you should be able to get some rebuttal kills. They do just that, and they do have one of the best heroes in this game at holding the absolute late game. Storm Spirit, he's always going to give you an avenue back into this game. 20 Bloodstone charges on him, he's going to feel really good, even picks up the Arcane Rune. And even if you're up 2 sets of Rax, if the Storm can just jump you and kill you, it doesn't really matter. Because for Immortals, they do have to take a team fight before they can go for this high ground. And we talked about how...
This was pretty crucial. Yep. That Lincoln's on the lasso, stopping and allowing FY to be able to get off the full Boundless Strike heal.
We talked about it in the early game. Lincoln's on the Storm is going to make him nigh unkillable. So far, it's been correct.
See just that.
Oh.
It's really just been damage he's been lacking, right?
Did you see Forev? Like, he laughed at that moment.
Yeah.
He's like, damn, he got me good.
I mean, you still got to feel real good as Immortals. You're up 9,000, 2 lanes of Rax. There's pretty much no amount of late game at this point that you're not on game.
Most likely, but they probably need a little bit more in terms of items. Like, they just need...
Yeah.
And QO,
Second round
DPS
of Rush, maybe. Long jump in, maybe. Does manage to spot out.
Oh, they got
with
both
the 2-man stun up. Yao now jump in. They manage to get the man heal off, and it looks like they're going to be able to survive. Yao's going to go down. Maybe he's going to be caught in that lasso as well and takes a huge amount of damage from the poison. If he doesn't jump out soon, he's just going to die. He is. MP is going to be able to pick up that one and keeps on pushing for more, slowing down Ame. Now they've got the sticky napalm on top of him. LGD. They do have the Storm Spirit up in 10 seconds. If they can actually turn this fight with FY, maybe trying to go for Febby. Just the stun out actually hits QO as he blinks in, but now QO, he had his time. 2 shots. The Monkey King, 2 shots QQ as well. Febby barely managed to survive time and time again. And they're just slowing down Ame.
Yeah,
over and over and over again. The relocate in. Storm Spirit's back, but can he actually do anything to save him? Throws a Lincoln onto Ame.
He's got to kill
Febby. Able to stop some sort of spells. Looks for Febby. Not going to be able to find him. Reaper Sight doesn't finish off Rev either. And maybe at half mana has to run away from his own base just to be able to escape Immortals' grasp.
And that looked like such a promising fight. We talked about it. You need to kill the backline supports or everyone's going to get healed up. You have Winter's Curse. You have the Ice Block on him. Wisp, of course, has that mech, and he was able to get that mech off at the last possible second. able to save himself, turn that fight around in favor of Immortals. And LGD, a lot of that good is going to get undone right here, as 2,300 net worth in favor of them, on top of the 10k that they already had. Mega Creep's going to follow shortly, as here comes the epicenter.
Trying to make that 4 versus 5 work with a BKB pop by QO before any stums come in. And he just keeps wailing on the racks. Maybe he's not even trying for him. He's trying to go for some of the back line, but his whole entire team is dropping to Immortals as they flood the base. 32 minutes, forcing out the GG call. This wasn't just a lane of racks and Navy and the rest of LGD realizing they're too far behind. That was them pretty much taking throne. Under 35 minutes for Immortals.
Yeah, that was absurd. The way that they set up that game, though, I don't think enough people appreciate that. It's very easy to just say, oh, they run at you. But no, they don't just run at you. They set that fight up very well. When they pushed in that bottom lane and they connected to that Venom when they knew that there'd be heroes there,